Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. June 8th, 1883, we were reading this. It was a summer day. The evening service in Kali temple was over. Sri Ramakrishna stood before the image of the Divine Mother and waved the fan a few times. It was summer. Now we have fans and ACs governing all things. The physical services we offer to God has almost disappeared. And all mechanization we use as if the mechanization is going to get liberation. To fan the deity with hand is entirely different from putting on a fan and going away. This trend has become even the temples where they can offer physical services because of lack of labor, because of laziness, inability to serve. They put on even the bheri and the other instruments going together at the time of Aarti. They were mechanized. We used to, even in our times, very recently, a few decades back, if we feel it is hot day, we used to give the offering to Thakur in the shrine. Early in the morning also, we used to fan with our own hands. We'll take a small, fine waving fan, hand waving fan, and go on fanning as long as the offering goes on. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Known food is 15 minutes. But we nowadays, everywhere, mechanical fans have come. They switch on and go away. And the sound is so disturbing, especially in the early mornings. In spite of prohibition, they put on the fan. And then it will be making lot of noise. Because they are accustomed to noise, but they are not accustomed to service. This trend has become slowly taking strain for the sake of God, taking pains and sufferings as tapasya is slowly disappearing, comfort seeking, and everything they do in the name of God. They say, God is feeling hot, I will put on the fan. And they don't want to put the fan with hand. Stand there in front of the deity if you feel. Like Ramakrishna. Whenever he used to feel hot in Chennai temple, he used to go and fan with hand. So early mornings are comparatively cool. And silence is most important part. In the shrine especially, giving offering to Thakur early in the morning at 4:30. Everything is calm. A small sound of the fan will go, it will be making sound. It is not welcome. That's why Sri Ramakrishna we see asking people to maintain the tradition, to follow the tradition. We try to introduce our own ideas, even in such places where we are not supposed to do, and it's breaking the tradition. So these things, the Sri Ramakrishna is going and fanning with his own hands, taking a fan in his hand. Ram, Kedar, Chatterjee, Tarak arrived from Calcutta with flowers and sweets. Kedar was about 50 years old. At first, he had frequented the Brahmo Samaj and joined other religious sects in his search for God, but later on, he had accepted Master as spiritual guide. One day or other, whatever path we may follow, whatever religion we may follow, whatever understanding of God we may have, finally we have to come to the one common base, that is spirituality. Pure spirituality is where there is no tolerance but acceptance. Toleration is always stands with an opposition behind. You are doing mistake, I tolerate. Toleration means you are doing mistake. Acceptance means you are on the right path. I accept it. I may not follow it because I have my path. I have my way of eating food, my tastes I eat. And I don't say your taste for you is wrong. So here when it comes to spirituality, the common features of spirituality is that the important feature is acceptance. And finally, when we understand divine will is working, we accept the world as it is and rush to serve wherever there is need. We have no complaints over the world. We have no complaints over the others. Nothing. As it is, accept. So now the master has accepted master in his spiritual guide, as his spiritual guide. When we come to spirituality, we see spirituality and divinity are the places where all differences dissolve. He was an accountant in a government office and lived in the suburbs of Calcutta. Tarak was a young man of 24. His wife had died shortly after their marriage. He hailed from the village Barasat, not far from Calcutta. His father, a highly spiritual soul, had visited Sri Ramakrishna many times. Tarak often went to Ram's house and used to go to Dakshineswar in the company of Ram and Nitya Gopal. He worked in a business firm, but his attitude towards the world was one of utter indifference. Indifference means he is doing work, but no expectations, no demands, as if he is unconcerned. He is doing. Now, suppose I feel concerned about my institution where I am working. Oh, it must flourish. It must not go under loss. All these, I feel concerned. I am working for that institution. I am indifferent means I don't mind how it flourishes, or if it doesn't flourish, or it exists or not. I go and work, get my income and come back. But for earnings, I am taking that support. But I am indifferent to the things that are happening. How many people are there? What are they doing? How they are working? Nothing is concerned. He goes, he does his part and comes away. Had utter indifference. That is not only with respect to his work, towards the world itself. Sri Ramakrishna came out of the temple. He saw Ram, Kedar, Yam, Tarak, and other devotees standing outside. He showed his affection for Tarak by touching his chin. He was very happy to see him. Returning to his room, the master sat on the floor in an ecstatic mood with legs stretched before him. Tarak was that young boy. Returning to his room, master sat on the floor in an ecstatic mood with his legs stretched before him, before Tarak. Ram and Kedar decorated his feet with flowers and garlands. Master was in Samadhi. Kedar believed in certain queer practices of a religious sect to which he had once belonged to. He held Master's big toe in his hand, believing that in this way Master's spiritual power would be transmitted to him. As Sri Ramakrishna regained partial consciousness, he said, "Mother, what can he do to me by holding my toe?" Kedar sat humbly with folded hands, still in an ecstatic mood. The master said to Kedar, "Your mind is still attracted by woman and gold. What is the use of saying you don't care for it? Go forward. Beyond the forest of sandalwood, there are many more things, mines of silver, gold, diamonds, and other precious stones. Having a glimpse of spirituality, don't think you have attained everything." Master was again in an ecstatic mood. He said to the Divine Mother, "Mother, take him away." At these words, Kedar's throat dried up. In frightened tone, he said to Ram, "What is Master saying?" See the whole episode. Sri Ramakrishna is in ecstatic mood. He himself came, sat, stretched his feet, and they decorated the feet. He is in ecstatic mood, in Samadhi Sthiti. They decorated his feet with flowers and garlands. Ram and Kedar decorated his feet with flowers and garlands. Master was in Samadhi. Kedar believed in queer spiritual practices of a religious sect to which he once belonged to. Because most of the people do not have clear understanding of spiritual struggle, spiritual practices, what have to do, how it is very simple. But hearing here and there, talking, seeing now presently, seeing the internet, they develop their own understanding, unauthenticated, and try to follow that. Their mind is backed by that understanding which they have seen here and there and gained and deposited. Kundalini Shakti, this, that, awakening of Kundalini. All these are very difficult things to understand unless they sit at the feet of Guru. Even pranayama. What is pranayama? The exact understanding of pranayama. Mind control. What is mind? They don't know. They want to control mind. They will read here and there or go to the internet and tap out and see. They get lot of information. Each person is giving his own views on that. And it creates a confusion, and they come to a conclusion of their own. And when the actual sadhana begins, they are fed by these internal things. They won't be able to go in a smooth, joyful journey to the eternal. Spiritual practice is an extremely joyful journey because he is dropping away unwanted things. Each nature, internal nature, it need not be eliminated. It declines also more and more freedom. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Ahankara. Even if little Ahankara comes down, there is great relief and joy. And as we go on dropping our defects and imperfections, we see new shoots are coming up somewhere else. It is taking new roots somewhere else. So it is dropping away the old leaves to go ahead with the new shoots. We grow, spiritual growth it is, spiritual unfoldment. It has been folded in, it's unfolding. So it is very simple and general process. We make it complicated and try to touch things which are not possible and doesn't know. Suppose food is what we eat food, how it gets digested, the whole thing is given by the science. We masticate, swallow, it mixes with the saliva and it goes inside, hydrochloric acid falls in it and it starts breaking down. Who understands? These are all scientific observations. We cannot do it artificially. Suppose I think instead of directly, why cannot I go there and start putting acid here itself and start breaking down? These are the weird things. People think that I can do this, I can do this. I can awaken the Kundalini Shakti. And there are people who will promise within 5 days Kundalini Shakti will be awakened. All these things are just an imagination of things. There is simple, pure path for everything. Even Kundalini Yoga is so simple and so smooth going. Much of the time is taken in clearing the ideas. Standard sadhakas who have passed through great work, great sadhana, we have to listen to them, we have to see, we have to practice. So his fear practices of a religion which had once belonged. He held the master's big toe in his hand, believing that in this way master's spiritual power would be transmitted to him. As Ramakrishna, he is holding the, Ramakrishna is in Samadhi, he is holding the toes. And Mother, what can he do by holding my toe? He is coming to slightly to external consciousness, he is telling. Kedar sat humbly with folded hands. Means what he intended, Master is understanding, is expressing. Still in an ecstatic mode, Master said to Kedar, your mind is still attracted by woman and gold. What is the use of saying, I don't care for it? Go forward. Here the instruction. The problem and solution. We usually, in the world when we are moving about, we complain. We have complaints. We don't have solution. People, when they come with problems, I say, what is the solution, you tell me? Problem I know. Problem I can understand. What is the solution? What have you thought of the solution? Now, the main important, his mind is attracted by, and it has been so in the earlier also. And it is not this life's sudden manifestation. It is acquisition of many, many past lives. It is going on, accumulating. This life, it is manifesting, but he has come to the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna has to release him from, means there is not only this attraction for Kamini Kanchana, there is the other aspect also. Great sacrifices also he must have done just to think of God and come to the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, who is incarnation of God. The Kedar may not be totally, if he is a part of Leela, Sri Ramakrishna is teaching these things to us. More than looking at Kedar, we have to look ourselves. What Master is hinting at me? So, it's a lesson he is giving, otherwise M would not have quoted it, noted it. It is there in the Gospel. It is not meant for Kedar, it is meant for us. So, he is attracted by woman and gold, enjoyments and possessions, but at the same time, having come to the feet of God, Ramakrishna's feet, he has got the backing of a huge meritorious sacrifices he has done in his life to come to that. But he is carrying his clothes are soiled for some reason. Sri Ramakrishna is asking, you have come here, your clothes are soiled, wash them off. There is a way. And small understanding, small things, they usually take a spiritual understanding or spiritual experiences also. Now, actual physical means when we get a spiritual experience, to know whether it is really spiritual experience or mental states. Mental states often are mistaken. Most of the people mistake it for spiritual experience. They consider it, I went into samadhi. I could not retain it for long. One day it lingered in my mind. I was not able to do anything. Then what happened? Then I came down. And are you a normal person again? Yes. Then you have not. That is not spiritual experience. It is a mental state. Because once you enter into samadhi, when you come down from samadhi, identification with body breaks off. This is a sure sign that, and second thing is, you become absolutely fearless. If body is being cut, it doesn't matter. We hear this from Holy Mother. In one of the occasions, Holy Mother says to a person, he says, I got spiritual experience. Mother says, the spiritual experience sure sign is you become fearless. If body is cut into pieces also, you will not know. You will not care for it because you are not body. Once you enter into samadhi and come down, your body identity goes off. You separate like coconut separating from the shell, inner kernels separating from the, if kernel separates from the shell, the coconut becomes a copra. And then if the external shell breaks, nothing of it is gone. When it is wet, it is sticking to the shell. Then if the shell is broken, the inner content also is broken. Here it is not so. It is separated. Mother says this separation will be there from body. If body somebody cuts, you will not worry or care. That much of fearlessness you get in the world after samadhi. So here we see that these are the small mental states, and maybe God has given a small glimpse to keep him in the track, which is though spiritual experience, it's a small gift which goes away. It appears, it shows you are in the right path and disappears. You are not attained. We call it darshana, not attainment. It is a vision of God, suppose. Something, you got a vision of God's even. It disappeared. Can you have again? No. Just to show you are in the path, go ahead. It is a signal for going ahead. And if that is there only, we will see that it is in the proper way it is being done. So we call it a spiritual experience. Some spiritual experience, small he must have, because Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, don't be satisfied with that and don't sit there. He is giving that, oh, you got that. He himself might have given one small experience to keep him in the track. What is the use of saying, I don't care for it? Go forward. Beyond the forest of sandalwood, there are many more things. There is behind this, there is a story. I think we must have seen earlier, it is not mentioned. A woodcutter was living nearby a forest. He used to go and collect wood in the forest, bring and sell it in the world, in the cities and here and there. By that he used to make living. One day a brahmachari passing by looks at him, his poor struggle, and then he is unable to maintain his family and all that with the wood that he cuts and brings and sells. Because wood is available for all, anybody can come and take and go. Who will buy? And those who buy, whatever is bought is insufficient for him. It will be not priceless. So seeing his humility and all that, he says, go ahead, go forward. The woodcutter thinks, why he said go forward? Let me go in this. He'll be going to cut the wood. And then why brahmachari said me, go ahead. He went inside. He saw a mine of silver. He started taking away the silver and selling it. The riches has no limits. And after some time, he thought, brahmachari said, go ahead. He did not say, stop after going a little. He went ahead, he saw gold mine. Still ahead he saw the mine of diamond. So Sri Ramakrishna is giving that example. Don't stop with the sandalwood. First he gets the sandalwood when he going forward and other mines. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, go ahead. One by one mine will open. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhritavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Rama Krishnam Shiranamami.